say, with Alex Buncombe in the Nissan GT series.
Off they go then on the warm-up lap. Now, a very curious situation here is the fact that, obviously at Silverstone, we got 2 sets of pits. And what, for me, for 40 years with the pits, is now the national pits. They will, if they have a problem and have to go into the pits, they will not come in below us, Johnny. They're going to go into the pits down there.
Oh, is that
and
right?
they're even going to go on the podium down at the national. So the only thing that really is happening here is the start and finish line.
Right.
All the teams are actually not here. They're down in the other pits, and they're watching timing screens with all the splits. And the splits, of course, just don't equate to the car coming past, because they're down there, they're halfway through a lap.
Yes.
It's very cool. I was standing in a GT pit down there yesterday, European Le Mans Series pit, and they were confused to start with, you know. So the big story here is an all-British front row of the grid. That is our main storyline. The other storyline we're going to be following, Johnny, is the fact that a lot of drivers are being watched very closely for going off track limits. They had a very stern briefing this morning from the steward for the Formula 3 Championship, and if they go off, they'll be shown a flag.
Yeah, you get various lives, don't you?
Yeah, well, in practice yesterday, as we heard, qualifying yesterday, they got 7 lives, but I don't think they're going to get that this time. So they've just really, I mean, there's such wide open spaces here at Silverstone, it's easy to do, but they've really got to think about it. Also, yesterday there was some pit speed limiter problems. That shouldn't be an issue here unless you're in a problem, and then you're out of the game anyway, really. So for me, the big story is, can the guy in the 3rd car there, Martiello, who won 2 of the races at Monza and last year finished as the runner-up in this championship, can he come through? I think that is the big question mark. Can Harry Ticknell, it's his biggest opportunity in Formula 3, okay, he's been in British Formula 3, but can he keep his head? Is he calm enough? Certainly looked calm when we spoke to him an hour ago. Can he keep his head? Can he make a great start? And can he then lead this motor race?
One thing that played into Harry Ticknell's hands yesterday was the red flag, because the first session was actually curtailed by about a minute and a half.
And we're just getting a note that there are spots of rain at Woodcote. That could throw things absolutely wide open. Let's see what happens. Spots of rain, here we are, right on the Northampton-Buckinghamshire border here in the Midlands of England, and we all know what the weather can do here. And if there's one word, it's unpredictable.
If you don't like the weather in Silverstone, then just wait 5 minutes, because it's guaranteed to change.
Yes. So all these Formula 3 cars are all Dalaras. It's all the chassis which was introduced at the end, well, at the start of last season. And 3 different engines, as we said, Mercedes-Benz, Nissan. We've got 28 cars, 2 missing. Michaela Cerruti is not racing because she is racing a BMW Z4 in the Blanchepin series, and Dmitry Saranovic has allegedly got a bad back, but maybe he's got a bad bank balance as well. Who knows? So here they are lining up then for the start of this race. These young tyros, all hoping that one day they'll be in Formula 1, and of course most of them will be disappointed, and maybe they'll move on into sports car racing or DTM. The programme is consulted. Heartbeat starting to go up a little bit now.
Oh,
Johnny.
yeah, mine is.
Is it?
So the last few runners coming through the corner, that's Rudersdorf and Tatiana Calderon to join the back of the field.
Yeah, well, she raced in the Star Master Series last year. Here we are getting ready. Look at the exhaust fumes coming out, and the flag will drop. Well, the lights will go out, and off they will go, and looks a pretty clean start. Somebody's coming out the grid, but it looks to me as if Harry Ticknell made a very good start there. Ticknell it is who is in the lead, turns in first. Somebody coming down the inside there as they wind their way round.
Spinner in the background, that looks to be a yellow car.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Giovinazzi, I reckon, and Mans Grenhagen was left on the grid. There was a staller right in front of us, yellow flags being waved.
Well spotted.
Everyone avoided him, thankfully.
Yeah, Grenhagen had an absolutely... Oh, we got...
Teammates.
Teammates, that's the Indonesian driver there who has tagged his teammate. Well, that's not good, is it?
I think Giovinazzi was one of them, and the other car, may well have been Lucas Wolf. Anyway, leading the race at the moment, it is Harry Ticknell. He's got away well from Alex Lynn and Felix Rosenqvist, and that's Will Buller trying to get in amongst the Prema Powerteam cars there. And Raffaele Marciello has lost a place there to the Irishman. The 14 car, Will Buller, has nicked ahead. It was Giovinazzi and Sean Galisle who were involved at that first turn. So the two teammates joining up with one another and big damage.
Sean Galisle's only 16 years
old. Side by side for the lead of the race. Side by side for the lead of the race, and that was around the outside. Felix Rosenqvist neck and neck with Tinknell.
Rosenqvist really pushing hard here, hugely experienced in this now, and Rosenqvist looking very racy for Mücke Motorsport. But there, look at Martiello though.
Yeah, Marciello's got the jump from fourth
and that little battle between those two has just given Harry Ticknell a bit of a break, I think.
So the 15 car with his elbows out heading through.
Yeah, Lynn in second place. Rosenqvist, Latifi, the young Canadian driver, Buller, Marciello. And Marciello still just finding his way around Silverstone, not a circuit that he knows.
So it's not Marciello then up to second place, it's Alex Lynn, isn't it?
Yeah,
He's
it's Alex Lynn.
So Marciello's lost 2 positions to Nicholas Latifi and Will Buller. Buller blasting his way from 8th position on the grid up to 6th spot, I think it is now. They come around to complete the first lap. This is a 30-minute to 35-minute race. Tinknell leads from Alex Lynn, from Rosenqvist, from Latifi up to 4th place.
Then Buller just looking a bit further down. Josh Hill is in 13th place. And what about the latest Chiva?
Nicholas Latifi thinking about making a move on.
Not in the first 24.
Rosenqvist as well, side by side, heading through Village and the Loop. Didn't quite get the move done, but the Canadian, you said his experience around Silverstone was increasing all the time. The guy in the blue car looking like maybe being able to slot into 3rd position.
Yeah.
Slightly slow possibly onto Wellington Straight. Here he comes again, down into Brooklands. Just a little bit of a look there at the inside of the Swede. Felix Rosenqvist doesn't quite come off. But Rosenqvist in danger of losing touch with the 2 Brits at the head of the field. Ticknell and Lynn disappearing as they head round Luffield. Then there's a break between Will Buller, who is 5th, back to Martiello, Auer, Blomqvist and King in that quartet.
Yeah, Rosenqvist got more experience in Formula 3 cars than any of these guys. Had 2 solid seasons. Last season, he came on strong towards the end, and there was that Spike Goddard, I think, in a 3-bond car that was off there. The young Australian driver, who's another that raced out in New Zealand in the winter, still very much on a learning curve. National champion in the British Formula 3 last year, Goddard, but not having a good race here today.
Now, Will Buller has set his sights on Nicholas Latifi, and Latifi far more concerned about what's in his rear view mirror now rather than in front, because he's losing touch with Felix Rosenqvist. 2 cars coming into pit lane, one of those being Sean Galisle, who was involved in that first corner incident.
You saw the nose damage, didn't you?
That's right.
The Goddard car being manoeuvred.
So from 18th position, the 15 car having to be, with the help of the marshals, pulled away from the track. That is on the entrance to Luffield, I think.
And a yellow flag, yes. We are told his turn 7. That's Lucas Wolf. You can't miss that car with that bright green. He's running for the little URD team, who back in the dim and distant past used to build Group C cars. Was he touched then?
I don't think so. I think that was just
a quick sort of flick of the steering wheel.
Well, that was almost like Formula Ford style, fanning out into the Vale corner, and they are nose to tail heading right past us here in the commentary box. 5 cars, inseparable as they head across the stripe and down towards the right-hander. It's Tinknell who continues to lead by half a second from Alex Lynn, then a big gap of 2.2 seconds back to, no, 1.6 seconds back to Felix Rosenqvist. Latifi and Buller are still nose to tail for 4th and 5th, so that's the Canadian ahead of the Irishman, and Raffaele Marciello a little bit on his own there in 6th place.
Well, he's never raced at Silverstone before. You can bet he's been in the Ferrari simulator a lot round this track. And Ferrari, I think, have only got 4 of those academy drivers. Somebody just limping there.
That's Spike Goddard, I think.
Yeah, that's Goddard.
Rejoining.
Yeah. So Ticknell leads from Lynn and Rosenqvist.
So Goddard goes a lap down as Tinknell and Lynn are embroiled in a battle royale at the head of the field here. Only half a second between them. Jordan King has gained a spot on Tom Blomqvist, so the 2 Brits switching places 8th and 9th. And King is 7/10 of a second off the back of Lucas
Yeah,
Auer.
I find it hard to think of Blomqvist with that name, being British.
He was born
in Cambridge, wasn't he?
Yeah. It's like Eddie Chiva, he was born in Rome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just strange to think of these familiar names associated with different countries.
Yeah.
The gap continues to open up, I would suggest, between Alex Lynn and Felix Rosenqvist. The Swede just can't keep with the two Brits who are very experienced around this circuit.
That's certainly the case. They know this circuit. That Hour in 7th place. He's in his first full year of Formula 3. Did a couple of meetings the end of last year, including Macau. A lot of people were rating Hour. Tinnel, though, in the lead. The man, the Devonian, comes from Exeter. And Carlin, of course, looking for success in this championship. In recent years, this championship has tended to be dominated by Prema and Mücke Motorsport, and also the signature team, which are no longer in it, the French team. British teams haven't had much of a look in, but now they really seem to have understood this Hankook tyre. Everybody running on the Hankook tyre, quite a bit different to the Cooper Avon that we've seen in the British Formula 3 Championship. Getting their head around how that tyre works is important. The engineers have been working on that, and Carlin doing a great job. Spoke to Trevor Carlin last night, and he's really up about this season. Thinks it's going to be great, and well, certainly putting a smile on Trevor's face is the man who is leading at the moment, which is Harry Tinnel.
Yeah, heading through Luffield and through Woodcote Corner for the 4th time, and it's all about these two leading drivers, Harry Tinnel and Alex Lynn. 0.6 of a second separate them. The gap continues to grow back to Felix Rosenqvist in 3rd position in car number 6 for Prema Powerteam. Nicholas Latifi is 4th, Will Buller is 5th, and Raffaele Marciello is 6th. It's all about that top 6, though, really, because then there is a big gap back to Lucas Auer, who is the cork in the bottle to a certain extent.
Yeah. Just, I mentioned Eddie Cheever, and when I looked across at our timing screen, couldn't see him. Now he has moved up to 24th spot. Cheever Jr., who was the runner-up in the Italian Formula 3 Championship last year. But that was quite a small championship. This is a big championship.
That was a view of Sven Muller with Felix Arias right behind, and Josh King as well.
Yeah, well, Muller was a regular in this championship last year.
Arias around the outside of Muller, gets the move done up towards Stowe Corner, so the Fortec Motorsport car number 11 gains a spot. That puts the two Fortec cars together now, 10th and 11th, Dirani and Arias, but the gap between those two cars quite significant. Josh Hill in the mix. He's in the grey car with the green and blue bands.
New colour scheme for this race since sponsor. Yep, new sponsor, I think. That's good news. Dad not here, of course, to cheer him on. He's out in China working for another TV company.
And car 32, which is Sean Galisle, it never rains but it pours, because he's now been given a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So he's come into the pits after that turn 1 incident, minus the front wing, and ended up speeding. Yeah, well, all sorts of things going through his head. I suppose so, yeah. Here's the Brits again, heading into the left-hander at the end of the Wellington Straight. And that's Brooklands up towards the double right-hander at Luffield, and Alex Lynn pressurising Harry Tinnel all the time. Tinnel not with a moment's peace with Alex Lynn, who had a really good meeting here last year during the British International Series for Formula 3. Although did get penalised in at least one of the races for a jump start. He's managed to keep it neat and tidy this time around. Felix Rosenqvist is still 3rd, Latifi 4th and Buller 5th, Martiello is 6th, but it's almost nose to tail here, heading up towards Maggots and Beckett's for the lead of the race.
Got to be impressed by this kid Latifi in 4th place. Just 17 years old, from Toronto in Canada. He only started his car racing last year, did the Italian Formula 3 Championship. He was 7th, he had 1 win, went down to New Zealand in the winter. He was 9th in that Toyota Racing Series. And here, all of a sudden, is right in the mix. Fantastic.
Raffaele Marciello almost alongside Will Buller. Didn't quite get the move done for Prema Powerteam. And also, someone to look out for is Felix Arias. Now he's released himself from Sven Muller. Popped in the best sector 1 time. Nose to tail again. Buller under pressure with Raffaele Marciello trying to gain at least one of those places back. Raffaele, the Italian, started 4th, running 6th at the moment, but looking like he might be able to get 5th from the Irishman.
Yeah, I think Marciello's already thinking championship, you know. He's in the lead of the championship by a way. Tinnel, Lynn and Rosenqvist, Latifi, Buller and Marciello. And there was a move down the outside. Johnny, that won't work with it round there.
Well, if you could have kept it there round Village, that then gives you the inside line for the loop, but didn't manage to do it.
And Will Buller knows his way around here as well. He's defending well.
Racecraft phenomenal because, well, Will Buller's done all sorts of things. Started in T-cars, then did a lot of short oval racing, stock rods and things like that. Here's Josh Hill. He's gained the place on Sven Muller, it looks like, as, again, Raffaele Marciello has a sneaky look at the inside of Will Buller, but thinks better of it. We've had a best Sector 1 time for Felix Rosenqvist, but also pushing hard Lucas Auer, who's very recently had a best Sector 2 time, and Alex Lynn going quicker than anybody in Sector 3. So good times coming from all up and down the field. I wonder whether the track's steadily changing as well. Yeah,
well, I don't think we had that little spot of rain we heard, but I don't think it's come to anything. Just our favourite gamer, Jan Mardenborough, he is in 14th place, just behind Josh Hill. And just behind him is Michael Lewis, the tall American, Californian. And he raced in this European Series last year with Prema Powerteam, in fact. And Michael, obviously just finding his feet. He started late in the series, done no testing. He had one win last year in one of the reverse grid races, which was the first American to win a Formula 3 race in Europe for, I've forgotten, it's about 20 years, I think it was. So, Auer there, Durrani and Blomqvist battling. Tom Blomqvist, son of the 1984 World Rally Champion Stig Blomqvist, who actually did quite a lot of racing during his career. He was pretty handy in trucks for a while. Stig usually comes along to the meeting, so Tinnel and Lynn, half a second between them. Then Rosenqvist already dropped back, Johnny, 3.4 seconds. It's really a two-horse race, isn't it now?
Yeah, they're pairing off to a certain extent as Raffaele Marciello tries to the right, tries to the left to try and get past Will Buller. That doesn't quite come off. Needs to be brave stuff through that Abbey corner, though. It's almost full chat through there. Oh, he doesn't quite know where to go, Marciello. Outbrakes himself.
Yep.
The door was very slightly ajar from Will Buller, and then he slammed it shut in his face. And Lucas Auer is joining the party after that best time of everybody in car 24. He now splits the two cars that we've been watching battling over the last few laps. So Marciello's lost a position as a result of that mistake, to the benefit of his teammate. And Lucas Auer is right underneath the gearbox here of Will Buller approaching Brooklands. But Will Buller again defending very well.
Johnny, is it just a track surface, or is there a little bit of damp on the outside?
There is offline.
Yeah, there is offline, I think.
And also the two leading drivers, Harry Tinknell and Alex Lynn, ran wide coming out of Stowe corner, just onto the curb, and there was a big rooster tail, so there's a lot of water sat in the curbing.
Yeah,
so
you see, even there's a bit of a line of it there, isn't there?
Yeah.
It just hasn't fully dried out there.
Got to be careful not to touch these white lines too much as well, because that might result in a rather scary incident, particularly through Copse Corner, which is where these cars that we're seeing now are going through. So it's the Nissan-powered 3-bond with T-Sport car, Will Buller, that is in 5th position, ahead of the two Prema Powerteam cars, but it's Lucas Auer now ahead of Raffaele Marciello. Here are the leaders. Tinknell still ahead of Alex Lynn.
Yeah, Alex Lynn makes a move, but decides against it, and drops in behind his fellow Brit. Harry Tinknell, who, when he's not racing, likes to go rock climbing. Well, has he got a mountain to climb today? So we go wide. Yeah, there's that water, as you said. And Buller really we thought Buller was going to move up to GP2 for this season. Certainly tested for GP2 teams, but presuming the budget wasn't there in the end. And so here he is with the 3-bond team doing an outstanding job. But again, the unfavoured Canadian Latifi hanging on there in 4th place, just ahead of this battle here, with Auer getting stuck in as well. Martiello not doing what I expected him to do, it has to be said. King in 8th place. Again, a total rookie. Durrani, he knows his way around here in 9th, and then Soral is 10th, and then Blomqvist.
One thing that does benefit Raffaele Marciello is that the next car in the sequence, Jordan King, is about 3.5 seconds away, so he can afford to attack now without risking losing any more positions. 2 cars immediately in front of him. This is 5th, 6th and 7th places. Will Buller ahead of Lucas Auer, and then Raffaele Marciello. That is the possibly Mans Grenhagen car that we saw going through shot there.
Johnny, 20 minutes remaining now. Remember, this is a time race. It's not a number of laps.
Yeah.
20 minutes and half a minute to go. 20 and a half minutes to go. As we got this battle with Damon Hill with the famous London Rowing Club colours on his helmet, as worn by his father and indeed his grandfather. And it makes you feel old, Johnny, when you've interviewed the granddad, as well as the father, as well as the son. 3 generations.
Mans Grenhagen actually gain a position there on young Josh. But this is a circuit he knows very, very well, I'm sure, since he was knee-high to a grasshopper. And he has a orange car right on his tail. That's one of the
Mücke cars, yeah. They've got a new sponsor this season. It's an online auto parts company in Germany, who've just also become an associate sponsor of the DTM this week.
Mitch Gilbert driving that car.
Yep.
Tucked in behind Josh Hill.
Australian, who raced in the German Formula 3 Championship last year, Mitch Gilbert. But look at this, 2 Brits at the front, Harry Ticknell and Alex Lynn. And we've got a replay here of Josh Hill going wide, maybe losing a little bit of the aero package.
Yeah. Flicking up behind, there's Alex Lynn again. Maybe losing touch a little bit on Harry Tinknell, although things do tend to go like the elastic band through that part of the track, through Village, the Loop and Aintree Corner. Nothing between these 3 cars battling for 5th position. Will Buller in car 14 for 3 Bond, managing to fend off the attacking Prema Powerteam duo of Lucas Auer in car 24 and Raffaele Marciello in car number 1.
Quick word for the one lady driver in this race, Tatiana Calderon from Colombia. She's running in 24th place at the moment, currently based in Indianapolis. So she had some good results in the Star Mazda Championship last year, a couple of 2nd places. So she's got some talent, got to find her way in Formula 3, not easy. So ultra competitive, this series. So again, this battle continues, Johnny.
Yes, Lucas Auer trying to get up the inside of Copse Corner there. Full commitment required because it's near enough full throttle through that right-hander. Will Buller, I was going to say, this is actually serving him good to have 2 Prema Powerteam cars right on his tail because he's done a personal best lap time.
Then, I think.
They have. Martiello's gone ahead of Lucas Auer, so Auer on the back foot after a kind of half-hearted manoeuvre into Copse. It didn't quite come off, and that meant that his exit speed out of Copse was lessened up towards Maggots, and Martiello wasn't going to be asked twice.
Let's see if Marciello now can do something about Will Buller. Auer couldn't. But Auer comes out of the slipstream and tries to go down the inside, and I think he's going to make it work. And they're wheel to wheel.
Well, rule 1 of motorsport: do not hit your teammate. And the 2 Prema Powerteam cars are going to have to be a little bit careful here because it's again closing up again into the left-hander at Vale. Buller ahead of Marciello, ahead of Auer as the leaders go through to complete their 9th lap. It's still Harry Tinknell who leads by 0.4 of a second from Alex Lynn. Marciello, as you say, moving his way up to 6th position, but nothing between those cars, 5th, 6th and 7th. Still Nick Latifi, by the way, 4th behind Rosenqvist, and they are separated by just a second.
Met him for the first time yesterday, nice young man, and doing a great job. But this is the battle which is keeping us entertained. Look at the 3 of them all fighting over that same bit of tarmac.
Will Buller gives Marciello no space at all on the exit of the corner. So running out onto the grass, and now, of course, all work to do again to try and get back up to those 2 cars.
Johnny, I really think Marciello is suffering from not knowing Silverstone at all.
Yeah.
Okay, you can drive it on the sim, it's fine. Drive it. But you're not in a racing situation.
No.
You don't know where places you can overtake and where they don't.
And conditions not ideal as well, and it's very difficult to judge. I would imagine they're changing almost every lap, and as you say, it's wet off line, you've got the dry line to contend with, you've got the greasy curbing. Alex Lynn, though, and Harry Tinknell in their element, and Lynn closer than he has been
much
throughout
closer. Look at him now.
So only about a half a car length between them, although not the cleanest line through Beckett's and Chapel that time for Alex Lynn, so he's lost ground this time around down the Hanger Straight, not going to be able to utilise the toe, which is often so important into Stowe Corner. So Alex Lynn about a car length away, maybe a little more than that as they come closer to our camera point.
I'm suspecting a challenge pretty soon.
Oh, yes. I mean, Lynn is very good through Copse Corner.
Yeah.
And but then it's very tricky to head through Maggots and Beckett's because that's single file stuff through that part of the daunting part of the track there.
Strange to see a British driver in those Prema Powerteam colours, complete with the Italian flag down the side of the car. But Lynn, 2nd generation, of course, his dad Sean, well known for racing the likes of Cobras and Lotus Cortinas and all sorts of historic cars, doing an excellent job here.
So Lucas Auer ahead of Martiello again. They've switched places, of course, we saw that after Marciello's misdemeanour at the Loop. And that forced him out onto, well, the Will Buller line forced him out onto the grass, but I think that was defending that he was perfectly able to do, perfectly legitimate move.
Under the Silverstone Bridge, this Anglo-Italian battle as far as the teams are concerned, but an all-British battle as far as the drivers line up.
Yeah, well,
Mardenborough, just seeing him in 13th place there on our graphic.
The last British driver at Prema was Ben Hanley.
Indeed, yes. Yeah.
Now, not a lot between them this time around. This might be Alex's best chance. He's right with Will Buller heading up towards Copse Corner, trying to force Harry maybe into a mistake. That didn't come, though, because Harry Tinknell, very composed driver, side by side with the two Fortec cars.
Oh, look at that.
That's Durrani and Sorales. Oh. And is it Sorayas on the inside? Yes, the people Durrani on the outside. Car 12, and Sorayas gets the move done. So that was brave stuff.
Yeah, you couldn't put a cigarette paper between the pair of them, could you?
I bet Richard Dutton had his head in his hands, didn't he, while watching that? Yeah. Ultimate trust in the drivers, though, I'm sure. Two graduates from the British Championship, and Felix Sorayas, who has had the fastest lap of all earlier on in the race. It's actually the fastest lap is now with Lucas Auer, but Sorayas maybe in a slightly false position there, down in 9th spot, and some ground to be made up. Still got 14 minutes to run in this, and the 11 car is on the move. Yeah, and the third car, Rosenqvist, all out on his own at the moment, with Latifi behind him, but not making any progress. Just looking at some of the splits on our screen here, Johnny, and the middle sector of this race, the key one, really. Just seeing who's anybody a bit further down the field who might be going quickly at the moment. Lucas Auer's got ahead of Will Buller. We haven't seen that on the screen, but see that. The Austrian is now in front of the Northern Irishman, and well spotted. It's a personal best lap time through Sector 3 for Lucas Auer. Is there enough time to maybe catch Latifi? There's 5 seconds for Lucas Auer to try and get. Big ask, I think. It is, but we'll see what he can do in some clean air. Yep. So, despite all his efforts, Martiello, the championship leader, remember, is down there in 7th place. As they continue around Silverstone, and then from here they'll be heading off to Hockenheim alongside the DTM. All those DTM cars been testing most of the week at Hockenheim. Gap opening up between Tinknell and Alex Lynn this time around. So has Alex Lynn asked a bit too much of those tyres mid-race, or is he just dropping back for another attack towards the end? Maybe last 5-6 minutes he can really push on, so that there's no chance for Harry Tinknell to reply. I'm pretty certain they're on the same compound as last year, and this was a pretty stable compound, actually. Is that Josh Hill in the pits? It looks like it is. Yep. And he's climbing out the car, so can't tell at the moment what that problem is. Haven't seen any incidents that will have resulted in damage for Josh, but for whatever reason, not happy with the car, and unfortunately retiring from the race. The number 8 car just working its way through shot. That's Andre Rudersdorf, who started penultimate on the grid, and is being lapped by Will Buller. And is that Marciello on his tail? Yeah, it is. Buller's still under pressure. So Lucas Auer is checked out a little bit from this battle, pulling away. Staggered how low Martiello sits down in the car, because he's 6'2" tall. Okay. He's a tall young man. So a job to even crowbar himself into one of these Dalaras in the first place. Yeah, knees round his ears. So Tinknell it is, who has responded to the challenge at the moment. As look at that, Marciello goes through. Hot knife through butter that time. Yeah. So Will Buller not really much defence from the Irishman. I think he'd been working out what to do around the Silverstone track, but as we've explained, he doesn't know. Let's see if he can hang on. Will Buller fighting back, though. One side of the track to the other. There's a lake out there on the Wellington Straight if you get well offline, and they're side by side heading into Brooklands. Will Buller's going to have to be brave around the outside, but that will give him the inside line for the right-hander at Luffield, but cutting across the nose there, Marciello defending well, as you say. He's learning his racecraft at Silverstone with every corner. I get the feeling that Nissan engine's got quite a bit of grunt. I mean, you look in the media book and it says they've all got exactly the same horsepower, but certainly seem to have slightly different power characteristics, the Tomei developed engine. Tinknell, Lynn, Rosenqvist, Latifi, Auer, Buller, that's the top 6 here at Silverstone. And another absolute best from the Austrian Lucas Auer in 4th position in clean air, and he's found a second on Nick Latifi, so it's down to 4 seconds. And just done the fastest lap of the race, warning flag for car 8 and 19. And 8 is Rudersdorf, who's not really in the game, and 19 is Grenhagen, the young Swedish driver. Marciello now having got past Will Buller in the Nissan-engined T-Sport car, starting to pull away as well, but his teammate is well down the road, so it's Prema Powerteam drivers Lucas Auer and Will Buller 5th and 6th. Auer and Martiello 5th and 6th, Buller down to 7th, then Jordan King, Felix Rosenqvist up to 11th spot, so Tom Blomqvist has lost a couple of positions.
Yeah, one we haven't mentioned is Roy Nazani, who is new to the series this year, and remember his dad, when they were there, Israeli, both from Israel, his dad was briefly a test driver for Minardi.
Yes.
The only Israeli Grand Prix driver. If you read his website, you'll be staggered what it says.
But never did make a qualifying session or a race,
no, that's true. But anyway, he's down there in 22nd place and now just 23 still running. Mardenborough 13th, Lewis 14th. Giovinazzi came with a lot of people saying he's a very fast runner, but not showing it yet in either Monza or here.
Well, he was involved in that first corner
very
incident.
Good, yeah, he was,
so.
and he's got a good karting career behind him. For some reason, he's living in Eastbourne, which I was going to ask him about, as I only live just up the road from there. So, Tinnel and Lynn still. It's been all British, hasn't it, at the front here today at Silverstone.
And mid-race, Harry Tinknell had to soak up an awful lot of pressure from Alex Lynn, the quick boy from Essex, from Great Dunmow. And it seems to have weathered that storm now, because he's opened up a half-decent margin, 7/10 of a second last time they came through. You can manage it from that point of view, I would suggest. Felix Rosenqvist, though, still keen on gaining spots. He is hunting down Jordan King, seesawing at the wheel there, trying to keep it pointing in the right direction through Beckett's and onto Chapel. He is, though, getting closer to the number 4 car, just coming into shot now, Jordan King, then Saraya's right behind, then a gap back to the other Fortec runner, Pipo Durrani, and that's Blomqvist on his tail, I think, in the Red Bull livery. One of many Red Bull junior drivers coming through the field.
They've pared it down a bit this year. There's 6 of them altogether now.
Right.
Yeah, 6. And I'm hearing there's going to be a second Red Bull car in this championship from Hockenheim onwards. Certainly the Euro International team have got a second car in Red Bull colours in their awning.
So that is ready to go for the next meeting. 14 laps in the book and 7 minutes 40 seconds still to run. So this race is.
Yeah, we're in the closing stage. What do we reckon, Joe? 5 laps to go.
Something like
that, isn't it? Just depends a little bit where they are on the track.
Look at the gap between Latifi and Auer. It's down to 1.4 seconds. It was 5 seconds, so he is closing in.
And on the first split on this lap, he's taking another 0.3 off him. Yeah, I think Auer's going to be right on the gearbox of Latifi at the end.
And how far up the order can Felix Rosenqvist finish? He is in 9th position at the moment and not too far away from Jordan King. Harry Tinknell managing that distance back to Alex Lynn. 6/10 of a second at the moment, with a warning flag for car 27, Jan Mardenborough from Carlin Motorsport.
I'm sure that's for going wide.
Not respecting the track limits.
Yeah.
Here's Latifi and here's Lucas Auer. So car 26, the Canadian driver, is 4th on the road, with Lucas Auer slowly getting closer and closer. And it's been interesting to kind of monitor Lucas Auer's progress here at Silverstone. Started off very gingerly in the free practice session yesterday, but has been getting quicker and quicker.
Think he's another Silverstone rookie, you know. I'm not sure he's ever been here before.
Up to Stowe Corner, and the gap is down to about 3 car lengths now, with Lucas Auer shadowing Latifi's every move.
It's going to go by him, isn't he?
Had a sneaky look there, heading into the left-hander at Vale Corner. And Josh Hill, we saw climbing out of his car in pit lane. Sven Muller actually collided with him and broke the underfloor, broke the under tray. We saw him run wide as well, didn't we, at Beckett's? So
maybe he damaged the aero before then.
Oh, here comes
the move, and it's clean, and it's down the inside, and up a spot goes Lucas Auer, and Latifi goes back to 5th place. And Auer showing his skill and talent.
Very little sign of any defence from Nick Latifi. Left the door wide open, and Lucas Auer, who has just set an absolute best time through Sector 2 as well, going really rapidly in number 24, was not going to be asked twice. It's close for the lead again, Andrew. Yeah,
be interesting to watch how he gets on in the second race this afternoon.
Yeah.
So we have 3 races this weekend. Here, there we've got Zella. Oh, no, not Zella, it's 17. Giovinazzi, the Eastbourne-based driver. And here they come. And Ticknell's done such a good job, hasn't he, to hold off Lynn. But Lynn just got a little strategy in his head as how he's going to zap him in the last couple of laps.
Well, I
don't think he's close enough.
5 minutes to go. He's going to start to turn the screw a little bit here. He's eased off.
Had that one charge, didn't he?
Yeah. Mid-race. Then eased off for the sort of third quarter of it. And now as we head towards the final few stages, just another burst, I think, of pace. He'll have some life left in the tyres to be able to attack. As they run wide again through Stowe Corner, coming out of that over the curbing, and there's a lot of moisture collecting again.
Yep.
Here's Jordan King under pressure from Felix Rosenqvist, car number 11, right on the tail of number 4. And Jordan King, who started 10th, side by side.
He's going to make it stick, isn't he, down there? Absolutely well done. But good job from Jordan King.
Jordan King's going to have another go at him, possibly.
3, yeah.
Had to think about a move up the inside. New to Formula 3.
Yeah.
As they are nose to tail, and of course those two cars have sort of slowed each other up, so that will give Pipo Derani a chance to latch himself onto the back of the battle, and Tom Blomqvist as well. So we've got a 4-car train now for 8th position, essentially, down to 11th, as Harry Tinknell and Alex Lynn are on their 17th lap. So over half an hour done in this race. We are down to the last 4 minutes, and that's Derani gaining a spot.
Yep. Derani going up
the inside of Jordan King.
Yeah.
And Tom Blomqvist.
Blomqvist right in the mix now.
He is. So Jordan King risking losing 3 positions here in quick succession, as Felix Rosenqvist is now pulling away. Darting and changing as they head down Wellington Straight and into the left-hander at Brooklands. Almost 3 abreast coming out of there.
Great racing here, and watch Blomqvist goes down the inside. Not enough room.
But I think Blomqvist's exit out of Luffield may be a little bit better than Jordan King. They're almost side by side, front axle lining up with rear axle. And Blomqvist, as he keeps the car there, should have the move done. How late can he break into Copse Corner? Jordan King taking the wide line, but he's going to run out of road.
Yeah, run out of road. And Blomqvist moves up a place in the Euro International run car. And that's a team not better known for running cars at Indianapolis, actually, than in Formula 3.
So Jordan King starting 10th, got as high as 8th, and now he's actually lost a position net. Yep. He's down to 11th. So
what's going on between Ticknell and Lynn? The gap is 0.7 of a second at the moment.
Here's Jan Mardenborough being overtaken by Mitch Gilbert. Jan Mardenborough being pushed out onto the curbing there in the grasscrete and losing another position. So Giovinazzi's got past him, and also, is it the Gilbert car? Yes, it is. On to the final lap then. So we're going to reach 18 laps for Harry Tinknell and Alex Lynn. They are still nose to tail, 7/10 of a second. That's pretty much what it's been all race.
Yeah.
And Tinknell's done well to manage that gap.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he's led from a very good start off pole position. Has held off the challenge of the fellow Brit. While Rosenqvist is in his own little space in 3rd place. And Tinknell certainly looking good here for what will be a memorable first European win for him.
Likes that wide line through Luffield. I always think he's going to push it a bit too far, but Luffield's one of those corners that has several routes through it, and he sticks it right in the middle of the road to get good exit speed.
See how they went wide, but they've still got 2 wheels just inside the white line.
Yeah.
Tinknell, well, next time we come past the pits, the race will be over, because that was the national pitch you saw there. And the podium will be down there. Not sure if we'll be able to catch that because of the strange geography we have at Silverstone now with the 2 different pitch complexes. But the final lap here, and the 2 Brits have led throughout. Great demonstration. And I don't think we need to worry about more Britons coming through to Formula 1, do we? We've got some great young drivers here. And really showing his skill, his talent today. And keeping his nerve, Harry Tinknell. There were questions before the start. Could Tinknell keep his cool? That's exactly what he's done. He's now got 0.7 of a second over Lynn as the checkered flag will hove into view in a moment. And there it waves. And Harry Tinknell wins from Alex Lynn. Rosenqvist will come home 3rd, our 4th after a good race. Latifi, the very rookie, is 5th, and then Martiello is 6th.
Yeah, Martiello right on the tail of Nick Latifi by the end of it. Only 0.2 of a second between them, so it would have been interesting to see if there'd been another lap to see whether Marciello could have broken into the top 5. As far as the results concerned, it plays fairly well into Raffaele Marciello's lap because he keeps the championship lead.
Yes.
So none of the main players at Monza have done particularly well. Well, Lucas Auer working his way through the order, and Rosenqvist had a good meeting at Monza to support the World Touring Car Championship. Will Buller coming home in 7th. Was 5th for a long time with those 2 Prema Powerteam cars on his tail, but couldn't hold them off till the flag, so he finishes 7th. Felix Rosenqvist, great run through the order.
He's happy, isn't he?
Harry Tinknell, that's exactly the reaction we saw yesterday when he got 2 pole positions, courtesy of qualifying 1.